Guys, Showtime triple header this weekend over in the States. Some good fighters on the card, so I'm going to discuss all of those fights and who I think is going to win the fight. Let's start with Demetrius Andrade versus Willie Nelson. As far as I know, it's a WBC super welterweight eliminator, and the winner will face the winner of Jamel Charlo, who's just been crowned WBC champion after his win against John Jackson, versus Charles Hatley. So they will contest the first match for the title in Charlo's first defense, and Andrade will be the Andrade Nelson winner will be the number one contender. I kind of gave it away there, but I think Demetrius Andrade is going to win. Willie Nelson is a very tough, rugged competitor. He's a big banger, but I don't think he's going to win this fight. I know he stopped Tony Harrison, I think it was, who was an undefeated prospect, but the level between Harrison and Andrade is immense. Andrade is, on his day, I'd say lower end pound for pound. I'd say that's how good he probably is. He reminds me a lot of Andre Ward, and I think he's really good, and he's wasted a lot of his career due to inactivity, promotional issues, lack of opponents, possibly. So yeah, I rate him really highly. People might complain and say, "Oh, he's not a pound for pounder and stuff," and complain with me. But I think he's genuinely that good. If you see some of the guys in the Ring Magazine ratings at number 10, number 9, number 8, I think he possibly potentially could be in there at around number 9, number 10 if he stays active. And at the moment, I wouldn't put him in the top three in terms of the super welterweight division, only because he hasn't been active, even though he's probably number one or two in terms of just pure skill and talent. Which is a shame, but I do think he's going to win this fight. It's a good fight to come back after the Puchetta fight. I think he won that in 2 rounds, and he won the WBA, WBO international titles. But this is a serious step up in regards to his blowout in November, I think it was. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see Demetrius Andrade fight. I think he's going to win that fight. Let's see where he goes from there. If he can get a shot at one of the Charlo brothers' titles, I think he could do pretty well. He's actually quite big for super welter, so I think he could move up to middle. Relatively soon, depending on if he can stay active and whatnot again. So yeah, let's see where he goes from here. Dejan Zlaticanin is actually fighting as well. He was supposed to fight Emiliano Marsili. There have been a lot of conflicting reports that it was for the full WBC lightweight title. I think they downgraded it to the interim WBC lightweight title, so I don't know what's going on with that. The last update I heard, it was for the interim WBC title. Marsili has actually pulled out of the fight due to illness, and Zlatikanin has yet to have an opponent, and if he does, I haven't really heard of it. So yeah, Zlatikanin obviously is known over here in the UK. He knocked Ricky Burns down in the first round of their fight in Scotland. That was ironically the last time that Ricky Burns fought in Scotland up until the Michele Di Rocco fight. So quite a long time. Zlatikanin has been making a good name for himself over in the States. He stopped previously unbeaten Ivan Redkach in 4 rounds, and he done a really good job on him. I like Zlatikanin. I think he's a really solid fighter. He's quite small for lightweight, but I think that's because the other top fighters are quite big, quite rangy. But he's got some really good skills. I like his skills. He can obviously bang a bit, and he looks a handful for pretty much anyone in the lightweight division. I think he's not really spoken about much, maybe due to where he's from, Montenegro. So yeah, he's a very good fighter. I like his style, and I think as I said, I think he's a handful. I think he'll win whoever it's against, and barring any serious upset. But I'm really looking forward to that fight between himself and Jorge Linares, which was supposed to happen anytime soon. But Linares obviously injured his hand, so had to pull out. And that would be a really, really good fight, Linares versus Zlaticanin. I think that's an actual, 50-50. People may say, oh, Linares is the favourite and that sort of stuff, but Zlaticanin should not be underrated. It's happened many times. Probably many people thought Ivan Redkach and Ricky Burns would beat him, and he done a number on them. So his style is very good, very exciting, fan friendly, pleasing, and yeah, looking forward to seeing him on Sunday morning over here. So yeah, let's see how far he goes. Could be a potential opponent for some UK lightweights out here. Luke Campbell potentially later down the line. Anthony Crolla, Terry Flanagan, those sort of people. Rances Bartholomew is also fighting this weekend, I think, against Mickey Bay. I expect Rances Bartholomew to actually win that fight. I think that's on a separate card, but yeah, I expect Bartholomew to win that fight. I don't really rate Mickey Bay, but yeah, that's just a side note. The last fight, probably one of the fights of the night, and you know, one of the better fights this month. There's not many great fights this month, marquee fights apart from maybe the AJ fight, but Brazil's a blowout job for him in my perspective, in my regard. So yeah, John Molina Jr. versus Ruslan Provodnikov. Really, really good fight. I'm looking forward to this fight a lot. Provodnikov is all action, iron chin. He can bang. He's a really, really exciting fighter. He's a fan friendly, pleasing fighter, and I like his style. I really do. Sometimes you don't want to see that later down the line, but he's had a lot of wars actually. So I'd like to see if he can box a bit more, and if that's an option for himself. But yeah, I think Provodnikov will win this fight. Molina hits hard, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's any sort of real threat to Provodnikov. He hits hard, but Provodnikov has taken a lot of stuff on the chin. He looks to have a really, really good chin, iron chin, as I said. And Provodnikov hits like a hammer as well. So, you know, uh, for me, Provodnikov, he's going to stop Molina later rounds. Probably, I'll go for a late stoppage. But yeah, that's the way I see it. I can't see Molina. I can't see Molina, winning on points or by KO. I really like Provodnikov, and I think he's gonna stop him. Zlaticanin, I think will get stoppage as well, and Andrade, I think will win on points. Those are all my predictions for this Showtime triple header. It'll be interesting to see where they all go. The potential guys, the potential winners that I've picked. Zlaticanin, as I said, lot of potential in the lightweight division with all the UK based opponents. The division is quite decent, and it'll be interesting to see where he goes once he faces Linares, if he does face Linares. Um, Andrade, super welterweight, is also quite stacked. The top five, top seven. So interested to see if he can get back into the mix. For me, he's not in the mix just yet. Momentum obviously is key in boxing, as I always say, and I think he just needs to keep active and stay fit and ready for all these big fights at super welter, especially with him being with a different trainer and different promoter to the Charlo brothers and Erislandy Lara, which I don't think they'll fight each other in a unification bout. So there's Liam Smith and himself if he can win the belt off the younger Charlo. So there's a lot of potential there. Um, and also, as I said, Provodnikov and Molina, chance to get back in the mix at 140. Provodnikov's been fighting at about 147 in his last few fights, but I'd like to see him get back down to 140 and try and do some damage there as well. Terence Crawford and Victor Postol are fighting in the unification, so that's two of the belts probably gone. I'd like to see him go down the Troyanovsky route. Troyanovsky can hit a bit as well, and he can box a bit. He's quite old in terms of boxing terms. He turned pro quite late, so but that would be a good fight. I'd like to see that fight. Ricky Burns would be a good fight as well, who's just won the WBA version of the title. So yeah, I'd like to see possibly Provodnikov, if he can win that fight, get back into the mix with those two. Don't think he's don't think he can beat Crawford or Postol, but the other two certainly more so. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts on these fights on a Showtime triple header, and Ronsley Bartholomew versus Mickey Bale also. I'd be really interested to hear all your thoughts on it. Please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe and share so it gets out to a larger boxing audience. And yeah, take care, guys. Speak to you soon. Peace.